You're listening to the Biohackers World podcast.
Hello everybody, this is Pau D'Elia. We are recording live from Biohackers World in Miami Beach, beautiful Miami Beach. I am a health coach, I am a detox educator, and I've been passionate about biohacking, wellness, longevity, anti-aging since I was a teenager, and this is my true passion, and I love to help people to recover their health, to be healthy forever, to be happy, and connect with their mind, body, and spirit in a true and natural way. And I'm here today with Lea Llovio. I'm so excited that we're going to have this conversation with her. I have great questions to ask her, but I would like to tell a little bit more about Lea. She is a conscious wellness thought leader and globally sought after speaker and consultant to world leaders, top doctors, and high performers in medicine, personal development, and entertainment. Known in elite circles as the guru's guru and the dog whisperer. Lea is the one they can call when performance stalls, purpose dims, or healing plateaus, even when everything on the outside appears successful. She helps leaders return to the core of who they are and elevate their impact in the world by optimizing every facet of their life. And when I was reading more about you, I feel a deep connection with your work, with the way you see the world and how you want to help people thrive. How are you, Lea, today?
I'm doing great, and thank you so much for being here. You know, it's always such a big blessing to be at Biohackers World. I have spoken at several of their conferences, and they truly do make an effort to bring together people that care more than just making a buck, than just creating a product. You know, these are the people that are in wellness, and I always say this, I work with a lot of doctors, biohackers, people in longevity, and corporations that really create products, that really create infusions, peptides, supplements, technology to help the world heal. And really their goal is always to make the world a better place, to make life easier for people. And I'm always grateful to be at Biohackers World. It's one of my favorite conferences because they truly do make an effort to bring people that are incorporating every aspect of healing. And so it's always the best time. You know, the community's amazing. And like you said, you know, you connected with me and now we're connected and we continue. The more we connect in wellness, the more we can bring healing to the world. And I call that the blessing work. The blessing work is anything that you do to help one human being in life. And the more we do that, the more we truly make the world a better place and help heal people one at a time.
I love that, yes. It's like we're raising the vibe together, the energy.
Yes.
Through individual and through collectiveness, all together working, connecting, making friends, making connections, and learning more, expanding our knowledge, right? We are raising the vibration, and that's what we need to heal us individually and to heal the world. That's how I see it. And
Yes.
big part of your work is also to work with the intuition and to help people connect with that inner voice, right? And calm
Yes.
the mind. Mm-hmm. So the first question that I would like to do to you, I know you work with world leaders and doctors, but yet your approach is deeply intuitive and heart-centered. And I love that. Really, when I read that about you, I really resonate. What life experience first taught you that true wellness isn't just physical, and energy and consciousness shape everything?
Yes, energy and consciousness do shape everything. And I was tremendously blessed to grow up in Los Angeles, California. And I call that the city of angels. A lot of people think, oh goodness, that's a chaotic place. But the beauty of the chaos is there is a diverse mix of cultures, of spiritual practices, different faiths that people practice and believe in. And, you know, people go there to survive, to, you know, achieve their dreams. And the blessing of being in that kind of environment is that the more you're exposed to different cultures, to different belief systems, the more well-rounded you become as a human being, because you see that every human in the world truly is just trying to do the best they can. They want to have a healthy body. They want their loved ones to be healthy. They want to help other people be healthy and well. And they want to do good works while they're here in the world. And so that truly shaped my ability to see human beings as simple human beings and be untriggered or unaffected by what they do for a living, where they're from, what their spiritual or political beliefs are. And by removing those thought processes of judging people, this is how we can see them clearly. And this is where our intuition can then surface. But first we have to remove the blockages, the judgments, and these kinds of things. And when we see each person just as a human being, no matter how successful or how much they're struggling, then we know that we can be intuitive about how we help them heal.
Right, yeah. It's about compassion, right? To feel compassion. I think that's the basic, is the compassion and the connection. Yeah.
Yes, it's interesting that you mentioned compassion, because there's something called compassionate inquiry. And when we can inquire about each human being with deep compassion, with deep kindness, without taking on their suffering, this is where we can be a vessel for healing. And the reason why I've had the blessing of working with a lot of doctors, it actually came through my clients. My private clients started to see how they would progress mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even physically. And they started to ask me to work with their doctors, because they wanted their doctors, who affect actually the entire world. Doctors are very important, healers are very important, to have the same tools. So that compassion is extremely important when you are a medical provider, a healer of any kind. Even if you have a supplement company, if you have a technology company, if you're not coming from a place of compassion, that also comes through. Mm-hmm. But when any healer of any kind, or any person trying to make the world better, comes from a place of compassion, they suddenly open these vessels to the energy that is needed in order for the technology to work, for the peptides to work, for the red light therapy to work, for the supplements to work. So when we can come from this place of compassion and even empathy, again, without taking on the sadness and the suffering of the world, because then we can't serve as well as we would. Mm-hmm. Then we can come with that clean heart, that clean mind, and really transmit exactly the energy that we want to transmit through our products, through our services, and through our healing work.
Yes, yes. It's like one of my dearest mentors, Joshua Rosenthal, he says, heal the healer.
Yes.
Because that part is so unbalanced, is out of balance. The people that heal others, they don't even have the time or the opportunity to heal themselves. And they are giving so much health to the rest of the world, but their own world is out of balance. And that's when we can come and help them to recover that, to be in balance, to connect again, and heal yourself first, and then try to heal the rest. And you have more to give, more energy to give. Beautiful. I love what you say. I describe my journey as one of returning to simplicity through awareness. That's one of my core thoughts. When you meet someone who's overwhelmed by wellness trends and information, where do you help them begin? Mind, body, or energy?
It's never one. Here's the thing that people have to understand. In order to heal, you have to understand that everything is time and energy. Every thought you have, everything you do to work out, everything you do to get healthy, everything you invest your time in, whether it's your social relationships, your work, everything is time and energy. And although space is infinite, right? And there are even some people that believe that we have an infinite soul and that will never stop. However, if you believe that soul, that spirit, is encompassed in this beautiful vessel that's called a physical body. And so it's not just mind and energy. It's actually also incorporating all of the physical strategies to optimize your body. Because if you have an amazing meditative practice, and you can do yoga, and you can do all of the things, but if your physical body is not well, it will be very difficult for you to get into higher states of consciousness that can truly bring you peace and that can help you elevate your life and heal your body. So it's a combination. For example, if you have hormones that are out of whack, or your brain chemistry is off. If your brain chemistry is off, it's very difficult to feel motivated. It's very difficult to not be depressed. For example, people that suffer with depression. Sometimes they need to work on their brain chemistry. And sometimes the only way to do that is through the physical body. They must optimize their diet. They must optimize their toxins and their environment. And at the same time, we incorporate the thought processes that create chemical reactions in the body. And those chemical reactions create an emotional reaction in the body. And those emotions are the ones that make people take action, right? So anything you do every day, you did it because you thought about it. And then you had a feeling. And then you said, okay, I'm going to go to the gym today. Or you weren't feeling optimistic and you said, it's not worth it. I'm not going to get out of my bed. So it all starts with the thought. And then once you take the action, every time you take an action, now you are generating energy. And when it's an action into the outside world, now you're creating frequencies through that energy. And those frequencies are the frequencies that can help heal your body, that can help heal someone even sitting next to you. You know, there are healers that are able to transmit these frequencies. And how did they do it? It's because of how they're thinking to begin with. And it is all connected with the heart, but everything starts with one thought.
Yeah, and this is what integrative nutrition is about, with functional medicine. It's not to treat just one side or one aspect of your health, but bring everything back into balance, spiritual, mentally, and the body. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And also the mental part, right? I started studying meditation when I was 15, and I feel very lucky about that. I think that really shaped my life and it helped me in all the stages in my life in so many occasions. And through mind control, you understand the power of the mind and how much you can do just by controlling your mind, but not in a way that you're forcing it, but you understanding where it comes from. Even having my own lab in my mind and thinking about my health from there and see what I can do, how positive I can think about what is happening, what tools I have. But everything starts in the thought, in the mind. What do you think about that too?
I absolutely love that you said without forcing it, right? So there's something called equanimity. And equanimity is not too tight, not too loose. And so the same thing with our mind and with our thoughts. When people decide, look, I'm going to become a better person, I'm going to really try my best to optimize how I think, right? We're always optimizing the body, but are we optimizing the thoughts? And when you make that decision, you say, okay, now I'm going to think positive all the time. But then something happens. Somebody bumps into you, somebody says something, and you snap. Here is where that softness comes in, where when you do that, you must practice radical self-acceptance. I have found that people that can radically accept themselves, regardless of what's happening or what they do, and this doesn't mean that they're not trying to be better, but it means that when those thoughts happen or when those actions happen that you really wish you weren't doing, that you can say to yourself, hey, you're trying your best, we're going to do better tomorrow, and you're going to really pay attention to your thoughts. What I call this is the dance. I like people to dance with their thoughts. It's a soft dance. It's not a rigid dance. It's not forceful. It's treating yourself like your most precious child. If you were a mother, a father that adored their children and that wanted to spoil them every day, this is how I ask my clients to treat themselves and their thoughts, especially their thoughts. So if a child makes a mistake, you're not going to yell at them. You're going to say, this is how we do it, sweetheart. This is how we'll try to do it next time. So we're very kind to ourselves and we accept ourselves with kindness. And again, going back to the compassion, it's not just the compassion for others. We need to have it for ourselves. And the more we have it for ourselves, the more gentle and kind and compassionate we can be with everyone and with everything.
Yes, I totally agree with you. It's the same thought that I have. I think my mind, I also teach people, it's like a little kid. You have to have patience. Have patience, compassion, and even laugh about it. Oh, that's my mind again, going to places that I don't want it to go. And be patient. Just say, hey, slow down, come back here, let's reset, let's reconnect. But from that position of being very patient with your mind. And the fluidity, I love that you said being fluid and allow fluidity to happen in that dance.
Yes.
The dance inside your thoughts. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. Let me see another wonderful question that I have here. You speak about emotional interference as one of the biggest blocks to health. For someone new to energy work, what are the first signs they are holding emotional energy that isn't theirs, and how can they release it?
So we go back to what is energy, right? What is energy and why is it so important? And why is it that sometimes you're around one person and you feel amazing, and then you're around another person and you feel drained and tired and frustrated? Again, we go back to time and energy. When we understand everything is time and energy, we have to train our mind. And this is why the most important job is training your thought processes. Once you train your thought processes, you understand also that every engagement, every interaction is an energetic interaction. And that you are able, with your own thoughts, as you calibrate your own nervous system, you're able to generate that positive energy. But not everyone is doing the same work. And sometimes you're serving people that are suffering tremendously. And this is one of the things that I work on with a lot of the healers and the doctors and the practitioners, because most healers, most doctors, most practitioners, including anyone in the wellness industry, are very empathetic. Again, they really care about humanity. They want to help people. And where does that come from? A deep empathy, a deep compassion. But we must master, how do we work with that compassion and that empathy so that we can better serve humanity? So what I like to tell people to do is have a system in place, a strategy in place of clarity, of detaching from each individual. So every time you and I are interacting, we are attaching. At this moment, we're attached. There is an energetic fluency between you and I. And it's important that you do attach. It's very important that you pay close attention. Why? Because every human being that you're interacting with deserves your 100% undivided attention. And the only way I can do that is by opening my heart and attaching to you during this moment. However, what happens for practitioners, again, many people are suffering. So they need to do something in between each patient, in between each client, in between each interaction. So we do very practical things to break those attachments. And it's very important because then you need to give your 100% to the next person. And if you didn't detach from the previous person, now I call these hooks. They're hooks that are in you energetically, and they're draining you. And you can't give 100% if you've got the previous hooks stuck in you. So we do very practical things like, I talked about dance. I literally like people to dance. I ask them, dance, please
it's so
dance.
Therapeutic, yes.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be good at it. You don't have to have rhythm. And it doesn't have to
have
be.
a body.
Yes,
just a body.
You just have to move. And you just put on a little bit of music. And sometimes if you have a medical practice, you only have like 1-2 minutes in between patients. Turn the music on for 2 minutes and dance. If you don't feel like doing that, do 10 squats. If you can't do it in your office, go to a bathroom stall and just do 10 jumping jacks. Anything to just move that energy and detach. And also telling yourself, okay, I had this interaction. I feel very empathetic to this person. I really want to help them. Maybe they had a very hard situation. It's tugging on my heart, but as a healer, I must detach now so that I can give the next person 100%. So it's almost like our responsibility to learn to manage our energy, to learn to protect our energy, and to learn to engage and disengage, attach and detach our energy at will. It's part of our job.
Yes. And that goes to a question that I have at the end that is more about detox. I'm big fan of detoxification, and I talk about detox all the time. But detox not just from a physical point of view, but spiritual detox, mental detox, and physical detox. So what you were saying about the energy or those hooks, it could be also interpreted like energy clutter that you need to detoxify sometimes, that you can do a detoxification of that energy.
Yes. So you take toxins in through the physical environment, through your eyes, through your ears, through your mouth, right? So the important thing to do there is to have, once you have that consciousness, you will realize that everything can either benefit you, heal you, or it can actually create more toxins in your physical body, in your mind, and in your spirit. So the more that we pay attention to the thoughts that we're thinking, to what we are allowing our eyes to look at, our ears to hear, and what we're consuming, the more we can manage those toxins mentally, emotionally, energetically, physically, and spiritually. And all of the toxins matter. And the number one thing I tell people, your need to detox is directly related and linked to the amount of toxins you take in. So if we start not taking the toxins in, we will have less need to constantly do the detoxification process.
Yes. Oh my God, I could be sitting here talking with you all day long. I think I resonate so much with all the things that you're saying, and this is such an important topic to talk about. But we have to finish this beautiful conversation. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lea. I don't know if you want to say where they can find you, or perhaps they're going to put your social media. I know a lot of people knows you, so it was a pleasure, a deep pleasure to be sitting with you today. So thank you so much for your time and all your knowledge and your love.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your love and for doing this and for, connecting here and being part of the healing energy of the world.
A very important movement.
Yes.
Right? So we're all part of it. Yeah. So thank you. Live here from Biohackers World in Miami Beach.
Oh my goodness, I love all of the cities, but the cool thing is, so I've been to Los Angeles, Biohackers World, I've been to Chicago, Biohackers World, and I've been to Miami, Biohackers World. I'm really looking forward to Biohackers World in New York. I think that's the new one.